It's the beginning of 2025 when this podcast episode is airing, and I want you and me to declare that this year, 2025, is going to be the calmest, most awesome year in our parenting. Today, I'm going to share with you the roadmap that will make it happen for you the same way as it made it happen for me 10 years ago, and it has made it happen for 838 clients in HIC Parenting in 2024. Hello, my name is Marcela Collier. I am your host of the Parenting with Understanding podcast, and welcome to this episode of this amazing podcast. I'm going to share with you a 3-step roadmap. And once you're done with this podcast episode, you are going to know exactly how to parent your children with peace, how to move away from reactive cycles, from the way you were raised, from how you've been raising up until now, maybe, and how you can start parenting your children with a lot more peace. Even if you are a special needs parent, even if you're an autism parent, I am as well. My child is autistic. I am autistic and ADHD. Even if you have a, a family with special needs, you can have a calm parenting this year. Now, who am I? I am the head coach of HIC Parenting Education Agency. This is an amazing coaching agency that has served 14,151 parents break free from reactivity, bring peace to their parenting, and raise their sensitive children with a lot more peace. And if you've been listening to the Parenting with Understanding podcast for a little bit and you found inspiration, information, and even transformation in your parenting, would you leave us a positive review? Just open the description of this podcast episode and write your positive review, your 5-star review, and that will help us get to more parents. Okay, so this 3-step process, this is something that I go through with our coaching clients in HIC parenting and the members of our private community. And it is the use method. Yes, USE method. This method has been the responsible to help so many parents around the world understand their children better and just be more effective when communicating with their kids and getting cooperation a lot sooner and just having easier time during the daily routine with their kids. Okay, so U is understanding the needs our children's behaviors. Every single behavior. Think about the behavior that keeps you up at night. If you are watching from YouTube, let me know in the comments, what is that behavior? The kicking, the hitting, the throwing, the biting, the back talk, the disrespectful words, the sibling fights, the not going to sleep, the waking up in the morning, and the hyperactivity. All those behaviors, including the school behaviors, communicate needs. Every single behavior communicates an unmet need or the lack of a skill. So, what happens when we get really good at going beneath the behavior, going past the behavior and understand the need beneath it? We are able to get to our children a lot easier and faster. It was summer camp. It was, my children were like about 6, and they were going to summer camp at church every day for the last 2 weeks. My twins were having a blast. They had no problem. One of my twins, how I said, is autistic, but he had no problem going there. He was actually liking it. And I needed them to go because I need to work. I needed that time. It was a non-negotiable for them to go or not. But then Friday came, and then my son, my autistic son, when I said it was time to get ready, he ignored the instruction. I showed him a few options. Have you ever seeing this tactic or this positive discipline strategy online. Offer your children choices, give them autonomy. Well, I did. I offered him the choices. I even put a little timer. Have you ever heard of that strategy too? And none of that worked. He kept on not listening. Now, when you apply discipline tools or strategies and you see that like you already exhausted everything and nothing is accomplished, like your kids still not listening, listen to that behavior because there is a big feeling or need beneath it. Well, what happened? I could have gotten stuck on the we need to go, choose one option, or I could have I could have gotten stuck on announcing consequences or letting him know that if he doesn't cooperate, he's not gonna have iPad. Like none of that stuff works when there is a big need beneath it. So if you're thinking, I wonder, like I now I'm understanding why all the times that I tell my children to do something, they don't do it. It's not because they're blindly trying to disobey me, test my buttons. It has nothing to do with us. Our children's behaviors, news, they are not about you. They're about them and what they're dealing with. So I knew it wasn't about me. I knew it was there was something there because all week he went no problem summer camp. So what happened this week or what happened this particular day? I looked at the calendar, at the schedule, and I noticed that that day they had a movie day. Okay, so they this is the first time they have movie day. I know that was kind of like the Leo ding 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 kind of moment for me. The light bulb went on when it came to understanding why he was having such a hard time listening. My autistic son, he's never gone to the movies. Well, once. He went once to watch Minions, Despicable Me, because that's his favorite movie ever. But that would be it. He doesn't like going to the movies because of the sensory experience. He has high sensory needs, being autistic. So the lights, the fast movement in the movies, the noise, and the unpredictable things happening in the story, it overwhelms him a lot, to the point that he would not go and watch really fun things such as right now they are in the Sonic kind of launch. And my other son really wants to go, but my autistic son is like, I like Sonic, but I don't know about the movies. Can we wait until we watch it at home? So that was my son. So I knew it was related to that because I understand my son's needs to the core. I understand his sensory needs. I understand his triggers. I understand how he responds to his triggers. He avoids them. He tries to not go through them. So if you feel a lot of resistance and avoidance from your children, that's a level of anxiety. We usually avoid what we are scared of or what we're nervous about. Knowing this, I stopped the tactics, the tools, the tips, the strategies, and I went down to having a heart to heart conversation with my son. Is it about the movies? And then he looked at me and he started kind of like watering the eyes, got a little watery and then teary. And then he said, yes, I don't know what to do because he felt nervous about not knowing how to communicate that need to the teacher. If what can we do? Let's plan for it. Let's talk to the teacher when we get there, and let's have a plan with the teacher. Would that help you? And then he said, oh, so how would that look like? I'm like, okay, let's think about it. What do you want it to happen during the movie time? And then he said, what about if they don't force me to be there? I'm like, okay, that's one way. And then, is there a room that you can go? And then he said, yes, there is a crap room next to the main room. I said, okay, that sounds like a plan. And then we did it. And he didn't give me such a hard time getting ready because his need was met. So that's you understanding your children's need beneath the behaviors. You would not believe the amount of times our clients, they get rid of power struggles, gain cooperation, and just have such an easier time raising their sensitive kids when they understand their children's needs to the core and they know how to communicate with them. One of them, his name is Eric. He has three girls, and one of them has high sensory needs as well. She's a highly sensitive child. And then when he came to HIC parenting coaching, he was at a loss, not knowing how to help her. Everything was a struggle. And then this is what he said after not a long time, but after a few months of coaching with us. I'm very curious about something. How do you think your life would be if you didn't have parenting coaching at all? I don't know. Homeless, divorced. Who knows? I don't want to think about how another year of further misery would have been for us. Wow. And there is reason to hope, and there is progress that's identifiable. So that was Eric. He said, I don't know how another year of misery would look like for us if we didn't know how to get to our children, to our sensitive girl, and have the skills and the tools to help her with her needs. That's how things got a lot easier for him. He became a secure parent when he gained full understanding of his child's needs and his own needs as well, and his own emotions. Do you want to become a secure parent this year? You can. The way to start is how Eric started. He started with my free class that you can find in hicparenting.com. And in that free class, I show you the roadmap that he has now to raise a highly sensitive, secure child. On this roadmap, you are going to learn a 4-step system that all our clients have to move away from reactivity and parent their children with a lot more peace from the understanding of their needs. You can find it on my website, hicparenting.com. I'm going to leave a card up here, somewhere up here, or in the description of this podcast episode if you're watching from YouTube. If you're listening from your podcast feed, you can open the description and the link to this free class is there. So that's the U element, understanding our children's needs. Let's move on to the S element of the use method, which is settling our children down from their stress responses. Every behavior communicates a need, but the high behaviors, meaning the aggressive behaviors, the over the top behaviors, communicate just a very simple thing: this nervous system dysregulation. This child is in their fight, flight, freeze response. They're in their fight or flight. They are in their stress response. So hitting, kicking, throwing, biting, those behaviors do not say you're a bad parent. And I say it because I work with parents all day, and most parents blame themselves for their children's aggressive behaviors. Your child's aggressive behaviors are not the sign you are failing as a parent. They're just the sign that that child is dysregulated, that their nervous system is dysregulated. What is being dysregulated? The opposite of calm, very upset. When a nervous system is dysregulated, you have adrenaline pumping through your body, and that adrenaline helps you fight or flight. Imagine I remember when I was a little kid, we were in not the wilderness, but we were in a, how do you call this? In the countryside of Colombia. And Colombia is lush. and it's like the countryside is very selvatic, I would say. Is that a word? And then I was on a walk with my dad, and I remember going up some stairs when I saw a snake, a rattlesnake, crossing by. And you would not believe me, but I think I've never jumped so high in my life, ever. I saw that rattlesnake and I jumped from that place to my dad's neck so, so high. And it was because I enter my flight stress response and I flee. Adrenaline pumped through my body, and then it prepared me to react that way, in a way that I would not normally be able to do it. So that happens with other circumstances. Okay. My son, the one I was telling you that he was trying to avoid going to the movie day in the summer camp, he was fleeing from that very stressful moment. He was fleeing by not getting dressed. He was fleeing by not listening. He was fleeing by stalling the morning because he was trying to flee from the situation, to run away from the possibility of facing that big trigger that he has. So your children's big behaviors just communicate they are dysregulated. So what is the S element? Settling our children down from those stress responses. And that's where I see a lot of parents, including parents who are trying to do gentle parenting, who are trying to follow parenting accounts. That's where I see the something that is not correct. And it's unintended for sure. They want to do better. And I did it as well in the past when I didn't do any, when I didn't know better either. And it was to try to reason, teach, educate, discipline the kids while they are at those high state dysregulated places. When our children are in their fight or flight, they cannot reason with us. So it makes sense why me offering choices to Santi, and we are late. I need to work. We need to go to summer camp. It's getting late. None of that stuff is going to work because he was in his flight stress response. So are you now connecting the puzzles? Why your children are not responding to you when they are that dysregulated? They don't calm down with me. Our job is not to calm them down. Is to be with them through their dysregulation as a calm parent. So our job is for us to be calm, but not necessarily to keep our children calm or make them calm, because we cannot control their regulation process. We cannot control when their nervous system is going to relax and calm down. There are things that we can do to aid the process, but ultimately is their nervous system and their perception of reality, of what's threatening and what's safety. That's what's going to indicate when they're going to slow down and calm down, not us. If you have a sensitive child and a neurodivergent child, and then you feel, hey, they don't calm down with me. I try to offer a hug, I try to offer water. They It's because it's out of your hands. You cannot make them calm down. We can be with them through it, but we cannot make them. Now, depending of the trigger, depending of the child's window of tolerance, depending of their coping strategies, depending of the quality of attachment they have with you. My foster son, in the very beginning, took a long, 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 long time to calm down with me. Sometimes his meltdowns went for hours, and it was because there was not quality in the attachment. He was new, like I was new to him, he was new to me. Our relationship was very new and immature, so he did not have the full trust to come, and his nervous system was not all the way settled and able to let go with me because the quality of the relationship was not there yet. So it makes sense for me why many times there could be a 2 hour meltdown, and it has nothing to do with us. There are many things that come in place for us to say a child will calm down. So that's the S element. When we settle our children down, not that we are settling them down, when they settle down with us, that's a better word, a better expression, then we have a better chance to teach them, to educate them. And that's why the S element is in the middle, because we cannot move to E, which is educating our children, equipping them with tools and skills, without S. And let's go to E. E, 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 E. So our children are already calm. Let's talk about the last step to make 2025 the calmest year in your parenting yet. Just imagine for a second that you in 2023 know how to understand your children's needs and prevent most power struggles before they start. Imagine you know how to remain calm yourself or how to remain safe for your children so they come down with you because they see you as a trusted, safe space. Imagine the last element, that you know how to equip your children on skills so they express their needs and feelings through a better outlet and not the hitting, kicking, screaming, and all the high profile behaviors that you see. Do you think that 2025 will be calmer, will be more peaceful, will be a lot smoother if you knew these three skills? Well, those three skills, those are the skills that we develop in our clients in HIC parenting. And these three skills are the skills that give parents like Eric their results, their results. Those are the skills that we touch on the free class that I told you about earlier. So let's talk about the E element, which is educating our children on better ways. We cannot move to this element without understanding their needs and settle them down. So we already know what the need is. They're already settled down. Let's talk about educating them. I was at the park, and then I saw a father with an about 3-year-old, and then he was enjoying going up and down the slide. And then the dad, he gave him the 5 minute in advance warning that we're leaving in 5 minutes. And of course, because 3-year-olds don't know what 5 minutes are, the 3-year-old just kept on playing, not worry about it. When the timer went off, the father said, "Okay, the 5 minutes is up. We are going to go." The child would not go down the slide. He would not go. He would not go. He would not go. And then he was just begging to stay. And then the father told him, "But we need to go." And then the child, "But no, I don't want to go." And then the father, but we need to. You promised we were going to leave after 5 minutes. Okay. Um, I was watching all that, and I like the fact that the father remained calm. I like the fact that the father remained safe. I loved all that. At the same time, I was kind of thinking, well, a 3-year-old is not going to keep a promise. And I'm sure he knew that. And I wanted to help him, but I didn't know how because I didn't know the father. He's not my client. Unsolicited advice is the worst. I don't give unsolicited advice, not even to my own clients. During our coaching sessions, before I give advice, I always ask them, "Would you allow me to share something that will help in this scenario?" Even in the coaching sessions. So I don't know. I was just like, I know, I know how to help this father transition this child very smoothly and fast and easy, but I don't know. But it's kind of hard to see him struggle when I have the answer. So I just asked him, and I said, hey, I'm a parenting coach. Would you be open to apply a positive discipline strategy that I know will work on this case with this age group? And then he looked at me and he said, yeah, why not? I'm like, okay, he gave me permission. Praise the Lord. So I shared with him the use process, right? And I said, okay, the need is that he's struggling to transition. He needs some kind of transitional object or activity to help him move to the next thing. As right now, he's kind of agitated, but he's not tantruming yet. He's not in a meltdown, so we can still talk to him. So let's go to E, which is educating him on better ways of like on a educating him or equipping him to transition smoothly. So I gave him the positive discipline tool. I said, okay, so let's use a transitional object. Tell your child about this person that's waiting for him at home. I don't know who's waiting for your child at home. And then tell him that they're expecting a gift from him from the playground. And then the father looked at me. I'm like, kind of like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but he tried it. And then as soon as he told the child, "Hey, Noni's waiting for you at home. She wants a gift from the playground." As soon as he told him that, he went down the slide. He started looking. He found an acorn on the ground. He put it in his pocket, and he got on his little bike, and they left no problem. So why did this work so well? For Because of the three elements of the use method. This father didn't apply this positive discipline strategy with a melting down child. This father applied this positive discipline strategy with the knowledge that of what the need was, which is needing to transition, getting stuck on the activity, needing to transition. So because this strategy met the need and the child was not dysregulated, he was kind of agitated, but not all the way dysregulated. It worked beautifully. And it worked in 30 seconds. That way, it went from a 5-minute power struggle to a 30-minute transition. So moving forward, I imagine this father is going to keep using this strategy a lot from the understanding of the use method. So the three steps to make your 2025 the calmest year of your parenting is you understand the needs beneath your child's behaviors. Two, settle your children down from their high stress responses to calm down before you equip them on better ways of meeting their needs. That's the use process. That's what we teach in HIC parenting, part of the things that we teach. And I'm very curious. I'm very curious, very curious, very curious. What is your child's need? What do you think your child needs when they're having the behaviors that keep you up at night? If you can type it in the chat, not in the chat, in the comment section on YouTube, that would be great. I want to see it. Let's help one another. Let's troubleshoot. Let's build this community, because this community is I want this community to be um, a community where we help one another, we share our experiences, and we share each other on in our parenting journey. Let's make this community awesome, secure parents. If this podcast episode gave you inspiration, transformation, aha moments, I encourage you to pause it right now and share it with one parent friend and tell them, hey, I declare 2025 is going to be the calmest year of my parenting journey. And I declare the same thing for you. This is a podcast episode that is going to tell you how to do it. Do that right now, share it with one friend. And I want to say that It only takes understanding of yourself and of your children's needs to transform your parenting. I'll see you next time.